Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing? I hope you had a great weekend. Looking forward to the session today. Today we're starting our new method where we have elementary all the way through 7th graders on Mondays and Wednesdays. So we're going to have a lot of elementary all the way through 7th grade questions. Feel free to join if you're not in any of those grades. Tomorrow we'll have sessions dedicated to you, Tuesday and Thursdays. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask during this session. Let's wait for a few more minutes, or rather a minute or two, and then we'll get started with our questions. All right. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I'm sure they're spending that time with the family for those whose parents don't have to work as essential workers. I'm looking forward to a great week together. All right. So we have our first question for the day. We're going to go through 2nd grade, 3rd grade, all the way through 7th grade. And then at the end, we're going to have, we'll have some puzzles to work through. Okay, so for 2nd graders and 3rd graders, we have Sarah has $245.36 in her bank account. Her grandfather gives her $182. She spent $83.45 at the grocery store and $321.74 at the mall. Round the money that she had and the money she spent to the nearest dollar. About how much money does she have left? So this is a continuation of some of the topics that this is one we did on Friday, but I wanted to make sure I revisited it because I noticed that nobody got it right. So this is another opportunity to try this topic out. So this topic is on estimating money. We're looking at estimating to the nearest dollar. Okay, let's put maybe a minute or so on the clock, and then we'll go ahead and get started with it. Please remember that as we walk through problems, just feel free to ask questions. Whenever you have questions, feel free to ask them. I'll be glad to address your questions. So let's see if we have any answers. I'll wait for an answer or two to come through. 2nd and 3rd graders. We'll wait for some answers to come through before we go ahead and show how to do it. Okay, let's wait for a few more seconds for some answers to trickle in, and then we will get started. One of the things that I've decided I'll be doing for the 2nd to 7th graders is every day we're going to do something on fractions. So we have a few problems on fractions today. I want to make sure I know that's a topic that can be challenging for so many students. So I want to make sure that that topic is, you get very familiar and comfortable with that topic, that you can solve any type of questions whenever you see them. Understanding fractions will help you a great deal as you get further in your math studies and even when you go to college. All right, I have an answer. So let's go ahead and start with this question. So we're looking at, so Sarah has $245.36 in her bank account. Her grandfather gave her $182. She spent $83.45 at the grocery store and $321.74 at the mall. Round the money she had and the money she spent to the nearest dollar. Let's go ahead and do that first. So the money she had $245 and 36. I'm going to use an arrow to show what it's going to be after we round to the nearest dollar. So we'll run into the nearest dollar. So let's look at 5 right here. That's the nearest dollar there. So we're going to look to the right and we have a 3. That's less than 5. So our nearest $245.36 to the nearest dollar is going to give us $245. This $245. And then $182 to the nearest dollar. We don't have to do anything there because it's already $182 with no cents. Okay, now she spent $83.45 at the grocery store. $83.45 at the grocery store. So we're looking at 3 here. Let's go to the right. That's less than 5. So we're going to end up with $83. All right, so the last one we have is $321.74. $321.74. So this is where we are. We need to go to the right. That's greater than 5. So we're going to change this from 321 to $322. Okay. So now we're going to have our plus and minus. So plus and minus. So money that she has or she earns, and minus is money she spends. So $245 is what she has already. And then 182 is what she gets. Okay. We're going to add this together. And then how much did she spend? $83 and $322. $322. So now we're going to add all this together. We put a 0 here so we have the same number of digits. So now we have 245 plus 182. That's how much she has. And 83 plus 322 is how much she spent. So let's go ahead and add this together. We have 0, 0 here. 3 plus 2, we have 5. 8 plus 2, we have 10. We write 0 and we carry 1 up here. 1 plus 0 plus 3, we have 4. And then on the positive side, 5 plus 2, we have 7. 4 plus 8, we have 12. So we write 2 here and we bring 1 up here. 1 plus 2, 3 plus 1, 4. So in other words, the estimate is that she had $427 altogether and spent $405. So now we want to find out how much money she has left. So it's going to give us 427 minus 405. So let's go ahead and subtract. So zeros, 7 minus 5, we have 2. 2 minus 0, we have 2. And then 4 minus 4 is 0. So the estimate is that she has $22 left over. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And so let's go ahead and try the next question. 4th and 5th graders multiply 23.5 by 4.7. So we're going to be multiplying some decimals here. That is okay. Thank you for your participation. So we're multiplying two decimals. So let's give you about a minute or so to multiply these decimals. No calculators. Don't use the calculator on your computer or on your phone or your parents' calculators. Don't use any calculators. You'll understand this as you learn math. I want to make sure you learn math the right way. I want you to be able to do things on your own and just use the calculator to check your answer to see if you've done it the right way. But don't become too dependent on the calculator. It would hurt you in the long term. It will hurt you later. Okay, I'll wait for a few responses before we start looking at how to do it. Okay, I got a response. So let's wait for one or two more responses, and then we'll get going. Okay, I'm not getting any responses. Okay, let's go ahead and try this. 23.5 multiplied by 4.7, and we're going to be multiplying. I like to arrange them in a vertical order, so top to bottom. So when you're multiplying decimals, one of the things you want to do is just ignore the decimals initially. We'll deal with them later. So let's go ahead and multiply like we will do our regular multiplication as if there are no decimals. So 5 multiplied by 7, we have 35. I'm going to write a 5 here and bring a 3 up here. 3 multiplied by 7, we have 21. We add 3 to that, that's 24. So we're going to write 4 here and bring 2 up here. Now, 2 multiplied by 7, we have 14 plus 2, we have 16. All right, so now we're going to multiplying by 4, so I'm going to put a 0 under 5. And then 5 multiplied by 4, we have 20, so I write 0, and I'm going to cross this 3 out so it doesn't confuse us, and I'm going to write a 2. So it's 20, so I'm going to put is 2 up here. And then 3 multiplied by 4, we have 12 plus 2. That's going to give us 14. So I'm going to write a 4 here. And I'm going to write a 1 up here. I'm going to cancel this out. So 2 multiplied by 4, we have 8 plus 1, we have 9. So we can see that we have 4 digits up and 4 digits down. So that should be easy to add. 5 plus 0, we have 5. 4 plus 0, we have 4. 6 plus 4, we have 10. So we're going to write 0 and then bring 1 up here. 1 plus 1, 2 plus 9, we have 11. Now, how many numbers do we have after the decimal? Here we have 1. Here we also have 1. So let's add this together. So we're going to have 2 numbers after the decimal. So we're going to go 1, 2. So our decimal is going to be right here. So you have 110.45. Good job. Looks like you all got it right. So grade 6 and 7, we're looking at positive and negative numbers. Positive and negative numbers, how you manipulate them, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. I hope there are some 6th or 7th graders here. Just give you a few minutes to get through them. When I get an answer or two, I'll go ahead and start walking through them. Okay. Any answers? 6th or 7th graders? Okay, let's go ahead. Doesn't seem like we have any here. So the first thing you want to do is look at these signs out here. You have a negative sign, an open parenthesis, and a negative sign here. This will always become positive. So we're going to have -3 plus 6, and then you have a positive sign and a negative. An important thing to note is right in front of the parentheses, if you have the same sign, then you're always going to end up with positive. If you have different signs, you're going to end up with negative. So we have a plus here and a negative here. We have a positive and a negative. So we're going to end up with a negative. And so that's what we're going to work with. So now the question we need to ask is -3 plus 6, because now we're going to use our PEMDAS. But fortunately, plus addition and subtraction are actually on the same level, so you're going to address them from the left, whichever one comes first, going from the left to the right. So we're in a good shape right here. Now the question you're going to ask yourself is, what do I need to do here? -3 plus 6. There's a rule that I use for every student, and I use it for myself as well, is that when you have different signs to the left of the number, what you're going to do is you're going to ignore the sign first. So you're going to subtract the numbers. So 6 minus 3, that's going to give us 3. Then now you go back to the numbers and ask yourself, which of them, what is the sign on the larger number? Here you can see that 6 is the larger number, and there's a positive sign, there's a plus sign. So it's going to be a +3. Now we have -8. We apply the same thing again. We're going to ignore this. We're going to ignore the signs in front of the numbers, and because the signs are different, we can subtract. 8 minus 3 is going to give us 5. Now let's go back to the numbers. Which of them, what is the sign on the larger number? So the larger number is 8. The sign to the left of it is negative. So your result here is going to be -5. Let's go ahead and try the second one. So we have a negative here, similar to what we have here. So it's going to be 6 plus 5. And then we have a positive and a negative right here. So that's going to be -15. And then when we come to multiplication and division, the rule is that when the signs are the same, you have positive. When the signs are different, you have negative. So now we have 4 multiplied by -3, because remember PEMDAS, you're always going to deal with your multiplication first. 4 divided by -3, we're going to have 4 multiplied by -3 rather, we have -12, and then we now have negative here, that's going to give us +8. So now we're going to go up here to simplify the numerator here. 6 plus 5, we have 11. So this is 11 minus 15 divided by -12 plus 8. So we'll apply our rule again. Whenever you don't have a sign, any sign to the left of a number, you can safely assume it's positive. So now let's look here. We have different signs, so we're going to subtract first. 15 minus 11, we have 4. Let's examine the numbers. What is the sign on the larger number? The larger number is 15. The sign is negative. Then you divide. We do the same thing again here. 12 minus 8, we have 4. The sign on the larger number is negative, so we will retain our negative sign. Now, when you have negative divided by negative, like I said earlier, whenever the signs are the same on multiplication or division, then your result is going to be positive. Whenever the signs are different, your result is going to be negative. Here our signs are the same, so our result is positive. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So this is the result of this expression. Okay. Second graders, we're looking here to identify and simplify fractions. An extra large pizza has 3 pepperoni slices, 4 cheese slices, and 5 meat lover slices. What fraction of the pizza is cheese? What fraction of the pizza is cheese? What fraction of the slices of the pizza is cheese? Or what fraction of the pizza is the cheese slices? So regardless of how you want to say it. So what fraction of this whole pizza do we have as cheese pizza? Let's try for a few minutes, actually a few seconds. Okay, well, okay, good try, but we need to make sure that the fractions are simplified to the lowest terms. We need to make sure we simplify the fraction to its simplest or to its lowest form. Okay, good try, good try. Let's wait for one more response before we move on. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this. So we have an extra large pizza that has 3 different types of pizza slices built into it. So we have 3 pepperoni slices, we have 4 cheese slices, and then 5 meat lover slices. The first thing you want to find out is how many slices of pizza do we have altogether. So let's say number of slices. We have 3 plus 4 plus 5. This is going to give us 3 plus 4, 7 plus 5. We have 12 slices. Now we want to find out what fraction of these is cheese, it makes up the cheese slices. How many cheese slices are there? We have 4 cheese slices, and there are 12 slices of pizza altogether. So we want to find, so this is the fraction in its raw form. Now what we're going to do is trying to simplify this to the simplest form. I'm going to divide by 2 because they're even numbers. All even numbers can be divided by 2. 4 divided by 2, we have 2. 12 divided by 2, we have 6. Now these are also even numbers. We divide by 2 again. We divide by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2, we have 3. So that's going to give you all that you need to answer this type of question. Any questions? If there are any questions, please let me know and then I'll address them. So like I said, I'll try to do some fractions every day that we meet. So Mondays and Wednesdays for sure we'll have fraction problems. I'm going to try to do a word problem and some non-word problems whenever we do fractions, just so you can see how to apply them. So the first question is, what is 2/9 plus 1/6? And then the second one is 3/4 divided by 3. Two ninths plus 1/6. Okay. Let's give you a few more seconds on the first one. Okay, I'm not seeing any responses. $212 divided by 54. Whatever your answer is, you need to simplify it to the lowest terms. Every time you're working with fractions, simplify them as much as you can. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this out. So we have, remember, the first rule when you're dealing with addition and subtraction of fractions is to ask, the first thing you're going to do is ask yourself this question: do they have the same denominator? If they don't, then you have some work to do. Here we have 9 and 6, so we have some work to do. The easiest thing to do until you become very comfortable with finding the LCM of numbers, you can just go ahead and multiply these numbers together. But that just means that when you finish your answers, you're going to have to simplify several times. Okay, so we have 54. So now I have 2 over 9. I need to make it a denominator of 54. I'm going to multiply 9 by 6. So I'm also going to multiply 2 by 6. That's going to give me 12 over 54. And then 1/6 is going to give me, I need to multiply 6 by 9 to get to 54. So I multiply 1 also by 9. So this is going to give me 9 over 54. So now I have 12 over 54 plus 9 over 54. This is going to give me, we could try 18. 18 is fine, that would work. But for those who want to use 54, this, what I said earlier is you can use, if you can do LCM, if you know how to get your LCM, you can use the LCM. But if you're not sure how to do it, this is the easiest way to go about it, and then we'll end up reducing and we'll get back to the 18. So 12, we have a common denominator of 54, and then 12 plus 9, we have 21. So now we can divide both of them by 3, and so 54 divided by 3, you have 18. 21 divided by 3, you have 7. The other way you could have done this is use the LCM. If you use the LCM method, you will get 18 as your LCM. So now your 2 over 9 is going to give you, we multiply 9 by 2, and so we multiply 2 by 2. That's going to give you 4 over 18. And then 1/6, you're going to have 6 multiplied by 3, and so you multiply 1 also by 3. So you now have 3 over 18. So this is going to give you 4 over 18 plus 3 over 18, which is equal to 7 over 18. This is the benefit of knowing how to find your least common multiple or your least common denominator. All right, the last question on this page. So 3/4 divided by 3. So when you're dividing by a whole number, you always want to express your whole number as an improper fraction. So this is going to give us 3/4 divided by 3 over 1. And now we need to change the division to a multiplication sign. So I'm going to leave 3/4 alone. So the fraction to the left gets left alone. And then we change the sign to a multiplication, and then we make the fraction on the right, we make it right. So what we do here is we switch the positions. 1 goes to the numerator, and then 3 goes to your denominator. So this is what we have. So we can divide 3 by itself one time, divide 3 by itself one time. And so now we have 1 multiplied by 1 divided by 4 multiplied by 1. This is going to give us 1/4. And so that is the solution for this problem. Now we have a word problem. So Uncle Sam visited a family of 5, a family with 5 children, and before he left their home, he gave them some money. The oldest child received 1/3 of the amount given. The other 4 children shared the remaining amount equally. If one of them received $24, how much did Uncle Sam give the children? So if one of them received $24, how much did Uncle Sam give the children? Okay, let's try this. This requires quite a bit of your math. You're going to do some subtraction. You could some division. Actually, depends on how you go about this. You may actually end up using addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Depends on how you go about it. Okay, let's see if anyone wants to try this. We'll try for another 30 seconds or so. And if we don't have any response, then we'll go ahead and try to walk through it together. Any answers yet? No? Okay, let's go ahead and try this question together. So Uncle Sam visited a family of 5 children. There are 5 children in the family, and he gave them some money, but the oldest child received 1/3 of the amount given. The other 4 children shared the remaining amount equally. So let's see what that means. So Uncle Sam gave some money, and we're looking at fractions. Remember that a whole fraction is 1. So 1 represents it means the total quantity that was given is 1. The oldest child received 1/3 of the amount given, and the 4 children received the remaining. They shared the remaining amount equally. So now we want to find out how much is left over from a fraction when you take 1/3 away from it. So minus 1/3. So what we're going to do here is, there's no way to deal with this easily. So I'm going to rewrite this as 1/1 minus 1/3. So now we have a fraction where the denominators are different. So we have to go ahead and rewrite each of these fractions. So this is going to be 1/1. Because you have 3 and 1, you can easily say that your least common multiple is going to be 3. So you multiply 1 by 3 to get to 3, and then also 1 by 3. So we have 3/3. So now our fraction is going to be 3/3 minus 1/3, which is going to give us 2/3. So 2/3 is what the other 4 children shared equally. When you see the word shared, you're looking at division. So 2/3 was divided by 4 people. So now let's go ahead and solve this. So remember, the first thing is to go ahead and rewrite this fraction so that 4 is an improper fraction. 2/3 divided by 4/1. And then we're going to leave the fraction on the left alone, and then change the division to a multiplication and switch the position on the right. So this is going to give us 1/4. So now we have 2 divided by 2, we have 1. 4 divided by 2, we have 2. So this is going to be 1/6. So now we're told that 1/6 of the total amount is $24. So 1/6 of amount is equal to $24. So how many 1/6 are there in 24? That's all you have to do here. So we're going to divide 24 by 1/6. Or you can say that you can multiply both sides by 6. That's if you're already in 6th grade, you'll be able to see this. But if you're not in 6th grade, you may not see it that way. But we'll go ahead and divide by 1/6 first, and I'll show you this. So we have 24/6 over 1 divided by 1 over 6. And so we'll leave the fraction on the left alone and then change the sign to a multiplication, and then we switch the position of the numerator and denominator on the right. So that's 6 over 1. 24 multiplied by 6, you're going to get $144. The same thing here, you can see that here is going to give you 144, and then 6 multiplied by 1 6 is going to be 1. So this is going to be total amount is going to give you $144. Good try to those who tried. Okay, I can see why you got 120. You need to be able to realize and see that this 24 represents 1/6. The other way you can look at this, just so we have some completeness here, if each of them received 24, then together all 4 of them received 24 multiplied by 4, which is going to give you 96. So 96 is going to be equivalent to 2/3. So 96 is going to be 2/3 of the total amount that was given. So now you need to find out 1/3. If I divide 2/3 by 2, I get 1/3. So I can divide 96 by 2 and I get 48, and you can now add them together and you get 144. All right. Now we have some grade 6 and 7 question. We're looking at some multi-step equations here. 6 plus 3z plus 1 over 8 equal to 2z plus 11. Multi-step equation. We have some multi-step equations here. I believe after this one, we have our quizzes, our puzzles. So I'll wait for about maybe 45 seconds more, 45 more seconds, and then we'll go ahead and solve it together. "45 more seconds." Any answers? 6th graders, 7th graders, multi-step equations. Okay, let's go ahead and solve this together. So we have 6 plus 3z plus 1 over 8 equal to 2z plus 11. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to figure out what we're going to isolate, and we're going to isolate z. So we'll be isolating z, which is right here. This is what we need to isolate. So now what we're going to do is find ways to isolate that. Let's go ahead and first subtract 6 from both sides. So we're now left with 3z plus 1 over 8 equal to 2z plus 5. Now we have a division here, and the reason why we're doing this, always take note of that. We always change the sign on the number we're trying to move off from that side. Now in this case, we have a division by 8. So the opposite behavior that we need to acknowledge is we would multiply by 8. So we're going to multiply by 8. So when we multiply by 8, this crosses out completely. So now we have 3z plus 1 equal to, now we're going to distribute 8 into the parentheses. So 8 multiplied by 2z, we have 16z. And then 8 multiplied by 5, we have 40. So you could put the 8 in the front here It's really up to you, or you can leave it out here. It doesn't make much of a difference to me. And so now we're going to figure out what side are we going to move the variable to. Do we want the positive sign on the variable or on the number? I typically like to just keep the positive side on the positive sign on the variable. So I'm going to take out 3z from both sides, 3z, and that's going to give me 1 equal to 13z plus 40. Now we need to move 40 away from here because we need to isolate the variable. So subtract 40, subtract 40. And now don't forget this is a positive sign. Like we said earlier, you will just go ahead, because the signs are different, you just go ahead and perform your subtraction. So 40 minus 1 is 39. What is the sign on the larger number? It's negative. So negative 39 equal to 13z. So now we want to isolate z. We divide it by the number to the left of z. 13 divided by 13. So negative 3 equal to z. Or you can say z equal to negative 3. So good try, good try. I hope this makes sense to you. If you have any questions, you can ask before we go ahead and take our quizzes or our puzzles for the day. All right, let's go to our puzzles if there are no questions. So we want to find out the missing values here. What are the values of A and B? What are the values of A and B? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Joshua. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you had a good weekend. $40 and $80. Okay, so is that A equal to 40 and B equal to 80? Okay, let's wait for 1 or 2 more responses, and then I try to make this one a little bit easy, just so that make it at least if you're getting the answers and you're feeling better about how you're thinking about your puzzles. Any other answers? Anyone else want to try? Okay. Let us go ahead and look at this. So I have 4. This is multiplied by 1. This is multiplied by 2. Here I have plus 1, and then I have plus 2. So 4 multiplied by 1, 4. 4 multiplied by 2, 8. 4 plus 1, 5. 4 plus 2, 6. So let's go ahead and try the next one. 7 multiplied by 1, 7. 7 multiplied by 2, 14. 7 plus 1, 8. 7 plus 2, 9. So 10 multiplied by 1 is 10. 10 multiplied by 2 is 20. 10 plus 1 is 11. 10 plus 2 is 12. So very close. Very close. Good try. Very close. All right, let's go ahead and try our last puzzle for the day. So what is the missing value here? What is our missing value here? This one is pretty simple. All right, let's wait for more people. Okay, so we got 2 responses already. Let's go ahead and try to get this. So we have two bags of chips or cookies, maybe chips here. So each of them is going to be 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. So I have 4 right here. If this is 4, what's going to be the value for the cookie? The cookie is going to be 6. So the cookie is 6. And then I need to find the value for the popcorn. It's going to give me 3. So all I'm going to do here is, what is the number for the bag of chips? We have 4 plus the popcorn is 3. That's going to give you 7. Good attempt. Everyone got that right. So this is going to give us 7. The missing number is 7. All right, that's really all I wanted us to walk through today. Do you have any questions, any topics you want me to spend maybe another 5-10 minutes walking through? I'll be glad to do that with the amount of time we have left. Is there any topic maybe you're learning in school right now that doesn't make any sense to you and you want me to spend about 10 minutes trying to walk you through it so that you can do some of your homework? Any questions? Okay, I don't think there are any questions. So if there are no questions, thank you for joining today. Thank you for your time. I enjoyed my time doing some math with you. I'm looking forward to doing some more math with you on Wednesday. And I hope you're being safe. Please be careful out there. Listen to your parents. Listen to all that they're telling you to do, especially about washing your hands and all of that good stuff. All right, be blessed. Enjoy the rest of your day and look forward to seeing you again on Wednesday. Enjoy your day. Bye for now.